Hey guys, Wet Movie 1 back here again for another Blu-ray DVD update video for you guys today. It's been about 2 weeks or so since my last one. Got a big old stack of goodness here to talk to you guys about today. But before I get to the first one, please give this video a thumbs up if you guys like my videos. Also, drop a comment down below. Let me know what cool new movies you guys been watching. But guys, let's get started with it. First up from Wild Eye Releasing is a cool new horror anthology film, and it's called Dysmorphia here on DVD. But the cool thing is about this DVD, there's some short segments in here directed by some of my friends, Doug Waugh, James Coker. You might have seen them in a few of my convention videos in the past. But the ultra cool thing about this Dysmorphia horror film is that me and Shawn, Cool Duder, directed and starred in one of the short films in here called I Dare You, and it's just pretty much me and Shawn taking dares from people and doing one dare inside of a bathroom, trying to bring only one plate of food, and that's all we have for 2 weeks. And it's a crazy little short film that me and Shawn starred and directed, and I think you guys really enjoy this one, especially if you guys are into no budget horror films, because me and Shawn shot this on like no budget at all, the little short film that we have in here, and a lot of the other short films in here really had no budgets either. But if you guys are really into creative short horror films and anthology horror films, definitely check out Dysmorphia. I might be doing a giveaway of this DVD soon, so stay tuned for that on my YouTube channel here. And next up over here from Warner Brothers is another Batman cartoon, and recently I've been really getting into them, and this one's called Batman Assault on Arkham. And in this movie, what's it called? The Joker has planted a bomb somewhere, and Batman's trying to find it. But in the meantime, the Suicide Squad's running rampant all over the city, and Batman's trying to figure out what to do and how to control everything that's happening. But that's pretty much just the quick little synopsis of the film. Like, the Suicide Squad has this little mission that they're going on to try to complete, and it's just Batman trying to figure out what the hell. But it mostly focuses on the Suicide Squad and what their mission is. Batman's just sort of like a side character in this film. Like, you only cut to him every once in a while. I think they only put him in this movie in his name first, because it'll help sell the movie. But I thought it was really kind of cool, and I'm not really used to seeing the character of Harley Quinn very often. She's a very cool, quirky little character, and you also get the Riddler in here, and the Joker, and all the other like bad guys from the Batman universe. It was really kind of cool. I like the animation style of this, but I thought it came off pretty cool. You get like a making of on here, and a whole bunch of like different Batman related special features. Like, you get some old cartoons in there from the Warner Brothers vault and things. I thought this was a really cool Blu-ray. But that's Batman Assault on Arkham. But next up over here is a classic film that I've always liked watching. It's one of my favorite Elvis Presley movies ever, next to like Jailhouse Rock and things, and that is Viva Las Vegas here on Blu-ray, the 50th anniversary edition. And I've just been a big fan of this film, especially Ann-Margret, who co-stars in the film with Elvis Presley. I first known who she was by watching the movie called Bye Bye Birdie back in the day, which I believe she did right before she did Viva Las Vegas. And in this film, Elvis plays this race car driver who's going to Las Vegas to make some quick cash to get this new engine for his car so he can, race again, because his car's kind of broken down. And when he's there, he meets this beautiful woman played by Ann-Margret, and he tries to seduce her and strike up this relationship with her, and it's just a back and forth between the two, and singing back and forth together. I always really kind of liked this film. It's one of the better made Elvis films that I've ever seen, because some of them feel kind of shot kind of quick and low budget kind of stuff, but this one still has the same kind of feel, but it feels like it just has more money put into it, and it has a lot of classic Elvis songs in here. But on the 50th anniversary edition, this is actually a digibook edition, and it comes with a 40-page booklet. You also get an audio commentary track by like an Elvis expert, and you get a cool little making of the film that I think it was shot a couple years ago with different people talking about the history of Elvis and his filmmaking and his life in Las Vegas and things, which was really kind of cool. But I thought the Blu-ray transfer on this looked really amazing, sounded great. If you're a fan of the film, definitely get this new Blu-ray of Viva Las Vegas. I thought it was really kind of cool. And next up over here from Sony Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 here on Blu-ray, the 3D edition, and it takes place, I think, a little while after the last one, and Gwen Stacy and Peter Parker are like, kind of breaking up and getting back together. They're in that kind of weird stage of their relationship. But then there's this one guy that's like a super fan of Spider-Man, and he gets kind of electrocuted, falls in this big water pit full of like electric eels and gets turned into Electro. And for some reason he thinks Spider-Man is like an enemy now, and he's going after Spider-Man, and Peter Parker has to figure out how to stop Electro from destroying the city and things, while Gwen Stacy and him are going through like relationship problems and things. I thought the movie was okay. It's definitely not the best Spider-Man film I've ever seen, but it just felt more drama-ish to me. Like, I wish there was more Spidey fighting than there was, relationship drama between Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy, played by Emma Stone. It just felt there was too much of that. I wish there was more fighting, because the fight scenes and the cool stuff with Jamie Foxx was absolutely amazing, and I thought the casting of Jamie Foxx as Electro was great casting, and he was actually the person in this movie that I liked the most. His character and what he was doing, and just his whole blue thing that was going on. I thought that was really kind of cool, and the film looks amazing on Blu-ray, especially in 3D. It really kind of pops out at you, and if you want to get the 3D edition, definitely get it. And on this Blu-ray here, you get like a bunch of deleted scenes and all the usual behind the scenes things, but there's also a deleted scene in here where you get to see Peter Parker's father. There's like a deleted scene with him in this movie, and it's kind of like, why did they take that out of the film? It was kind of a nice little scene that they had here. It was alright. Give it a chance. It's the Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's not great, but not horrible. Alright guys, next up is the Jersey Shore Massacre here on Blu-ray. This is like a parody kind of film based on the MTV show The Jersey Shore, which I've never seen really. I've seen clips and bits and pieces of it when my sister watches it on television, so I don't really quite get some of the characters that are in here. But it's about these group of 20-somethings that live in Jersey that are going down to the Jersey Shore to rent out this house for the weekend so they can have a good old time. But as soon as they get there, they find out their house has been rented to somebody else, and they have to find some other place to live in the Jersey Shore, Jersey Pine Barrens in the middle of nowhere. And they find this house, they go there, they're partying, they're having fun, but slowly they start getting picked off one by one in the slasher way. And I found this movie to be really super funny, has really great humor in this film, great gore. There's like a lot of like booby slashing in this one. Is like this was one part, just one chick's getting her booby slashed, and I don't know, it seems like there's like a little booby fetish going on in this film. But I did really like the characters in this movie. They're really funny. I don't know about likable, but they're really funny to me, and it's really cool to see Howard Stern's Whack Packers in their movies, because it's the same producer as Girls Gone Dead that came out a year or two ago that had like Beetlejuice and Stal the Stockbroker in it. But in this one you get Bigfoot, Stal the Stockbroker, and Richard from the Howard Stern Show in here in little bit parts. It's really cool. You also get Shawn Phillips in here in a quick little cameo for Fat Camp Massacre. It's just a really fun Blu-ray. It's one of those movies you don't need to take too seriously. You just go there, watch it, have fun, kind of movie. But there's a lot of special features on here. There's one on here where there's like an extended version of the Fat Cat Massacre segment that Shawn's in, and it's just really cool, man. I just really like it, and I think they're thinking about making the Fat Cat Massacre into a feature film, and I think that'd be really cool. It'd be like Heavyweights, but a horror movie Heavyweights. You know what I mean? I think that'd be kind of cool. But if you guys are a fan, like I said, Girls Gone Dead, you guys will definitely love Jersey Shore Massacre. It has that same kind of humor and vibe to it. And that's what I liked about it. It just looked like the filmmakers were just having a whole lot of fun, making this movie. You know what I mean? They knew they were making something funny and silly, and that's what I like about it. I like funny, silly kind of movies. But that's the Jersey Shore Massacre here on Blu-ray. But next up from Image Entertainment is Cabin Fever Patient Zero here on Blu-ray. I was a fan of the first Cabin Fever movie when it came out. Can't really remember Cabin Fever 2 all that much. I believe it was kind of a mess of a film. But in this film, it's about a group group of 20-somethings going to the Caribbean, you know, on vacation, and then when they get there, they want to go to this secluded island so they can, you know, get away even, you know, from the regular population, so they can just hang out, get high, and get crazy. And when they get there, they're swimming in the water, and they start noticing that they're all getting rashes and bumps all over themselves, and it's getting worse and worse for them, and they think they might have, you know, caught something, but yet they don't know that on this little secluded island they're on is like, has this big virus that's just broke out, and all this craziness is happening there. And Patient Zero is actually played by Sean Astin, who you guys all know from you know, the Goonies and Rudy and things like that. And he's one guy that the outbreak doesn't affect. Like he's kind of immune to it, and these doctors and scientists are like doing all this crazy stuff to him to try to figure out how they can, you know, cure the virus that's going on out there. And the kids that are on this island don't know what's happening, you know, on the other part of this island and things. It was actually really kind of cool. A lot cooler than the second one. Not as cool as the first, though, but it is cool to see Sean Astin in a horror film like this. And it was really it was really not that bad. The gore effects are absolutely amazing when, like, you know, skin's getting torn off of people, and this movie had a nice little vibe to it. It looks beautiful on Blu-ray because it was shot like in a nice, you know, tropical kind of area, so like it really looks, you know, really vibrant on Blu-ray. And I thought the direction of this film was really well done. Give this one a chance, guys. It's not that bad. I thought it was really kind of decent for a horror flick. Alright guys, next up from Paramount is Turtle Power here on DVD. This is a documentary on the history of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and how they started in the comic book in the early 1980s, and how they got into the cartoons and into the movies, and just the whole history of how the Ninja Turtles came to be. And I thought it was actually kind of a decent documentary. I thought it was going to be a little bit better and like talk about, you know, the actual movies a little bit more than they actually did. And it mostly focuses on the creators and how the people that created the comic, you know, started it from the ground up, and how they, you know, kind of financed the first handful of issues of the comic by themselves with their own money, and then how by doing that, you know, like a big company took them and made a cartoon out of them, and how the cartoon spun into toys and spun into the movies, and how, you know, it became the big franchise that it is now. It was really interesting in that fact, but I just really wish they focused on, you know, like the movies more. They focused on a little bit of the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, but just not the second or the third. But that's Turtle Power, the definitive story of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If you're a fan of the Turtles, definitely give this one a chance. It's a really decent documentary. I thought it was alright. And next up over here from Disney is Hercules, the special edition here on Blu-ray, DVD, digital copy combo pack. And you guys all know the story of Hercules. Hercules is the son of Zeus. And in this film, Hercules is a god, and he gets, you know, kind of stolen from his father and taken down to earth and kind of turned into a mortal. And so he's not a god anymore. And it's pretty much his mission to try to do what he can to become a god so he can go back to his parents again and stuff. And that's pretty much the synopsis of this film. And this is one of those Disney ones I've never really revisited a whole lot, you know, since it came out, but it's definitely not a bad Disney one. It has really good music in there. Danny DeVito did a very good job in here as Hercules' friend. And of course, you get all the same original special features that you got on the original DVD that came out when DVDs were coming out. But if you're a fan of Hercules, definitely give it a chance. It looks very beautiful on Blu-ray, and I can't say anything bad about it. I really enjoyed it. When I watched it, I didn't really remember a whole hell of a lot about it, you know? And next up over here is the unnecessarily extended edition of The Muppets Most Wanted here on Blu-ray. And in this movie, the Muppets are going on tour around the world, you know, to make some money, or, you know, just to have fun. And then at the same time, there's this evil guy named Constantine. He looks just like Kermit, but he has a mole on his face. And he's breaking out of a Russian jail, and he kidnaps Kermit, and, you know, and takes, you know, goes in, you know, infiltrates the Muppets, pretending that he is Kermit, so him and his, you know, henchmen can steal all this, you know, all these goods as the Muppets are on tour, like at banks and things, as the Muppets are performing live and stuff like that. I thought this movie was okay. Definitely not as cool as the remake of the Muppets that came out a handful of years ago with Jason Segel and things. But it also wasn't a bad Muppets movie. You know, I thought it was a real decent watch. I saw it at the theater when it came out. And on this Blu-ray here, you get 3 different versions of the film: the theatrical version, the extended version. But you also get an extended gag reel on here. But if you're a fan of the Muppets, you guys are going to have to pick up this new Muppets movie. It's really kind of cool, especially if you want to see, you know, Danny Trejo singing and dancing in a movie. I would have never thought in a million years I would ever have seen that, you know? But that's the Muppets Most Wanted here on Blu-ray. Give it a chance. It looks beautiful on Blu-ray. Not the best Muppet movie, but not the worst. And next up over here from Lionsgate is a horror film I wanted to see but I missed in the theater, and that is The Quiet Ones here on Blu-ray. It takes place back in like the 70s or whatever at this college, and this college professor and his team are like focusing on this one young girl who might be possessed by a demon, and they're trying to like figure out what's really wrong with her and try to talk to the demon or what's possessing her to do this or act like these crazy ways and things, until this one young filmmaker, documentarian, gets hired to work with these people to document, you know, their experiment and what they're doing with this young girl. And it's him documenting what's going on and him kind of striking up a relationship with her and kind of liking her and things like that. It got kind of creepy. It has that, you know, Exorcist kind of vibe to it, but it's not as cool or as scary as The Exorcist or any of those other kind of possession movies. It has some really creepy moments in it, but I really wasn't like on the edge of my seat or scared or anything like that. Like, but it's not bad. But this movie just has a lot of like jump scares that are just kind of like get old after a while, if you know what I mean. But that's The Quiet Ones here on Blu-ray. On this Blu-ray here, you get a audio commentary track, a making of the film, deleted scenes and outtakes on here. You know, the basic Blu-ray features. But that's The Quiet Ones here on Blu-ray. It's okay. If you guys are horror fans, you're going to have to give it a chance sooner or later. Alright guys, next up is Rosemary's Baby here on Blu-ray, starring Zoe Saldana. This is actually a remake from a film that came out back in 1968, I believe, starring Mia Farrow. But in this one, you get Zoe Saldana in the lead role as Rosemary. It's a more modern take on the story of Rosemary's Baby. It's this time, instead of being set in New York, it's set in Paris. And in this film, Zoe Saldana and her husband are moving to Paris to start a new life because, you know, in the past, Zoe Saldana and him tried to have a baby and they had a miscarriage. And they're both trying to, you know, they're both kind of struggling with that. And they're going to Paris just to start anew. And when they get there, they meet these, you know, rich business people. And they get involved with them. And the rich business people are getting really kind of close to Rosemary. Really kind of just like really uncomfortably close with her. And, you know, she decides to try to have a baby again with her husband. And when they do, all this craziness ensues. You guys all know the story of Rosemary's Baby. It's just a retelling, but this is actually a mini-series, a 4-hour mini-series that was aired on NBC earlier this year. And I thought it had really creepy elements to it, but it did feel really stretched out. Like some of it was just dragging on and on for me, but like a lot of elements to it were really kind of cool and creepy, and Zoe Saldana as Rosemary was really good in this TV miniseries. It's just, I don't know, I thought it was going to be a lot cooler and a lot better than it actually was. It's not horrible, but it's just one of those ones I don't ever see myself really needing to watch again. But that's Rosemary's Baby here on Blu-ray. Alright guys, next up is A Good Man here on DVD, starring Steven Seagal. In this film, Steven Seagal plays the secret ops, you know, officer who was in the military, taking down bad guys and like Al-Qaeda and, you know, drug lords and things like that. But that was in his past. Now it's 2 or 3 years later. He's trying to live a normal, regular life, just being a normal dude. And he moves into this new apartment and meets his next door neighbor and strikes up a relationship with her and her sister and things. But come to find out, the person that he just got a relationship with, her brother, is involved in the mob and is trying to get out of the situation that he's in. And then something happens with with the girl that he just met. And it's all up to Seagal to try to save the day, you know, kind of thing, using his, you know, his military experience and stuff like that. I thought this was a decent straight-to-DVD kind of action flick. It had some really cool fight scenes in it. I really wish it wasn't so fast cut so you can actually see the action a little bit more. But always seeing Steven Seagal with this, like a big sword is always kind of cool. It wasn't a horrible flick, but it wasn't amazing either. But on this DVD here, you get a behind the scenes special feature. Look at the film trailer and a photo gallery and things like that. But if you guys are into Steven Seagal movies, give it a chance, because he really has this cool little persona in these flicks. I like how he talks all slow. Yeah. Come and get me. Like talking all slow and like calm and stuff. I always like that about his flicks. But to me, he's not as cool as like Jean-Claude Van Damme or Don the Dragon Wilson or anything like that. But he's still a little bit. He's still cool to me a little. But that's a Good Man here on DVD. It's okay if you guys like those straight to DVD kind of action flicks. But next up over here is a TV show that I've never seen before until I got this DVD in a couple days ago, and I was just really surprised how funny and original and just awesome this show is. And it's called Deadbeat here, season 1 on DVD. It's pretty much about this guy. He's a deadbeat, and he always likes getting high. He's just really lazy kind of guy, but yet he has the ability to talk to the dead. And then in the show, he's going out helping different people any way he knows how to make some money so he can buy more weed. You know what I mean? It's just a really funny show, and I thought this was just a really entertaining, super original program that was actually originally aired on Hulu earlier this year, and I think it's going to go for season 2 real soon. And on this DVD here, you get all 10 episodes of season 1, which are all like 20 minutes long, 20 minutes each, so they move really quickly. And there's another character in this show, a person that's another medium that's kind of going against Kevin, the deadbeat guy that sees the dead people. There's another medium in town who's kind of a fake, but yet he looks up to her, and they have this little rivalry going on with each other. And I think that's really kind of a great element of this show here. But if you guys have never seen Deadbeat, please check this one out, guys. It's really, really funny, especially if you guys are into like supernatural. But it's like supernatural, but with super funny elements to it. And it also stars Brandon T. Jackson in this film. He's a really cool pot dealer of Kevin's here. I don't know. I thought the show was just really amazing. Give it a chance if you guys see it out there. It's really, really funny. And next up over here is The Legend of Shelby The Swamp Man here on DVD. This is the complete first season here. This is a show that was on the History Channel about this one guy who lives in, I believe, Louisiana or something like that. And his house just got ruined by like a tsunami. He lives in a houseboat. His boat got ruined, and it's him trying to find a new boat, trying to find a new way to live. And this show follows this guy and how he lives in the swamps and how he likes, wrestling with crocodiles and doing all this crazy country kind of stuff. And I thought the show was really kind of entertaining, especially, the Swamp Man himself, just his whole character and the way he talks, and it was just kind of funny. He kind of reminds me of Ernest a little bit, just the way he would move and the way he looks a little bit. He looked like the guy that would play Ernest in like an Ernest movie if they ever did another one, But that's season 1 of Shelby the Swamp Man. It's a cool little, History Channel show. Alright guys, next up from Cinedigm is The Stream here on DVD, starring Mario Lopez and Rainn Wilson. But don't buy this movie before Mario Lopez. He's only in it for like a blink of an eye, then he's gone, kind of thing. But in this movie, it's about this young kid named Ernest. He's obsessed with George Lucas's Star Wars, and he loves playing in the woods with his friends, having lightsaber battles with, wiffle ball bats, and playing capture the flag with them and just having a good old time. But he comes to find out that his father's just got a new job. Him and his family are going to be moving away, and he doesn't want this to happen. He wants to hang out with his friends and just have the time of his life. So when he finds this out, he runs away, tells all of his friends to come with him, and him and his friends go on this adventure in the forest, and it's just they're fun along the way. And I found this movie to be absolutely enjoyable. It has that same kind of vibe as Stand By Me or Now and Then, or like The Sandlot and stuff like that. It even has a voiceover narration of the guy, of Rainn Wilson, the older Ernest, reliving his childhood by, voicing over, what's happening. Kind of like how Wonder Years did with Daniel Stern and things like that, voicing over Kevin Arnold and things. But I just thought this movie was absolutely wonderful. The kids in this film did a good job. But the cool thing is about this film, I believe it was, made by kids. Like half the cast and crew are like teenagers from the Boys and Girls Club, and all like about I think like 20 to 40% of the proceeds from people that buy this DVD is going to go help fund the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, and I think that's a very cool thing. And I really like the fact that a lot of the like I said, the cast and crew were all kids. Like there's like a 12-year-old holding a boom mic, and you know, different people doing different things, and I thought it was really kind of cool that kids made this movie. I just thought this movie was completely wonderful. It's a low budget flick, you know, but it really had a lot of good heart and charm to it that really won me over in the end. But that's the stream here on DVD. And next up over here from Anchor Bay is a show that I really love watching, and it's The Walking Dead Season 4 here on Blu-ray. This is, of course, a continuation of Season 3. Rick and his group of people are still bunkered up in this prison, trying to live their lifestyle that they're living while this outbreak is happening out around them, and trying to stay away from all the craziness that's going on. Like, I don't want to, you know, get into each episode and, like, you know, spoil things for you, but that's just like the basic synopsis of what's happening and you know, Season 4 without ruining anything for you. And I just really like this show. Like, it's not as cool as like watching the old George Romero flicks like Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, like all that kind of stuff. But it's kind of cool for the people of today that didn't grow up with movies like that. They have this kind of thing, to have a little bit of zombies in their life, if you know what I mean. I like this show. I think it's a lot of fun. The Blu-ray looks fantastic. The picture quality is amazing. You get 5 Blu-ray discs in this set here, but you get some really cool special features in here, like a making of The Walking Dead Season 4. You also get audio commentary tracks on episodes 1, 5, 9, 12, and 14, and you get some extended episodes on this Blu-ray disc here. So if you're a fan of the show, definitely run out there, get yourself Season 4 on DVD or Blu-ray, whatever your preference is. You won't be disappointed in it. And I don't know, it's just a really cool show that has really great effects, and I'm always surprised by it. You know, that's Walking Dead Season 4 here on Blu-ray. Give it a chance, guys. If you have never seen the show, check it out. It's really cool. And next up over here is a possession movie I wanted to check out when I saw the trailer. I'm like, this looks kind of decent. And it's called The Possession of Michael King here on Blu-ray. And it's about this one guy. He's kind of struggling with the loss of his girlfriend or wife or whatever it is. And he kind of wants to know what happened and why, you know, why she's not here anymore. And he's going to all these different places to try to find dark magic and find out people that are into, like, Wiccan and different things that can give him more information about what's going on, until one day he gets possessed and he gets kind of crazy. He starts seeing things and hearing things, and it's just a really kind of creepy kind of flick. I really thought it was going to be a lot better than it was, but it did have a lot of really cool, creepy, fun elements to this flick. It's kind of like a Paranormal Activity, kind of style movie, but it moves around. It's not like, stationary cameras or anything like that in this flick. But on this Blu-ray here, there's really no special features whatsoever from what I remember. There's nothing I posted on the back here. But if you guys like possession movies, give this a chance. I just don't know if this is going to be like a one to remember, or like a big classic that's going to, have life like after like 2 years, you know what I mean, kind of movie. But it wasn't horrible. I thought it was enjoyable for what it is. And next up over here is a documentary I really know nothing about, and when I got it, I'm like, I have to check this out, because you guys all know I'm trying to go through this weight loss process where, eating better and doing, getting active a little bit more. And this movie is called Fed Up, and it's a documentary about like the food we eat, and how a lot of the food we eat is all drenched with sugars. And like when you go to the store, if you say you buy Oreos, there's regular Oreos and there's like reduced fat Oreos. You know what I mean? There's really no difference between the two, because they would each have like 200 grams of sugar in it, like the same amount of sugar as the regular Oreos. It's like, you have to like really look into what you're buying out there in the stores these days. And it talks about childhood obesity, and how like people at places like Coke and Pepsi and Papa John's are like the places that pay the school systems to let them bring their food into the school, so they can get the kids young and have them want to get their fast food and stuff as they get older. And this documentary follows a couple of teenagers. Like there's this like 12-year-old kid that weighs like my weight, like 400 pounds. And how is he 12 and 400 pounds? You know what I mean? Like seriously, it's like one of those kind of things. And they talk to these kids, and they have like little vlog footage with these kids talking about their day and how they get picked on and different little things. But I thought this was a well done documentary. I believe it's voiced over by Katie Couric. in this thing. But if you guys want to know more about the fast food industry and just the food industry in general, definitely give this one a chance, guys. It's very, very interesting. I liked it very much. Fed Up on Blu-ray. Alright guys, next up is a film that I really loved. I wasn't really expecting much from it, and it's probably one of my favorite movies in this update right now. And it's called Trust Me here on DVD. It's about this Hollywood talent agent. His name's Greg, I believe, or Howard, sorry. His name's Howard. He's an agent to like young kids in Hollywood, trying to get them, started up, but he's kind of struggling with it. He just lost his best client, his highest paid client, and he's kind of down on his luck trying to find a new person that he can take on to, boost his business up again, until he meets this one girl in a parking lot one day at an audition, and kind of, strikes up a relationship with her to see if she's good enough for him and his little agency that he has going, and the back and forth between the two. I thought this movie was really cool, really well acted, really well written also. And this movie, I don't know, I just had a really good time watching it. I really cared about the characters in this film, and I just really wanted to see everything happen good for everybody, kind of thing, But you have to watch this movie to find out. It was just really engrossing to me. Really fell in love with this one. It's called Trust Me. Give it a chance if you see it out there, guys. A really well done movie, in my opinion. Alright guys, next up is The Midnight Game here on DVD. It's pretty much about these group of girls having a sleepover party while, one of the girls' parents is out doing stuff. And of course, they're not allowed to have boys over, but their boyfriends and boys come over anyway. And when they're there partying, drinking, doing drugs, partying down like all young people will do these days. And, one of them looks up on the internet and says, hey, we should play this game called The Midnight Game. And everyone's like, what's The Midnight Game? And then they play the game. It's a game that it's got to summon the spirits and things like that. And if your candle gets, if your candle blows out and you don't light it in the next 10 seconds, a spirit's going to come and get you, kind of thing. And it's them slowly going crazy, thinking they're hearing things and seeing things and stuff like that. I really thought this film was going to be a lot cooler than it was. It really started off nicely, like the momentum, and then like 20 minutes into it, I kind of like, oh, that's what it's going to be. You know what I mean? Like I kind of didn't really care about it that much anymore. Like I thought it was going to be really cool at the beginning, and then it just kind of like fizzled out for me. It has a really cool cover. The acting is fine. It was shot very well. I just thought I just wish a lot more was going on in it. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't really scary at all. It was just kind of like, blah. Like, is it scares gonna happen? Oh, that's all that happened, kind of thing, But that's The Midnight Game here on DVD. Alright guys, next up from Mill Creek is seasons 1 and 2 of The Nanny here on DVD. I really like when the Mill Creek puts out double season sets together. They've been recently doing that, and I really like that. And in this set here, you get 4 DVDs with both seasons on there. If you don't know the show, it stars Fran Drescher as this New York lady that goes door to door selling makeup to people, until one day she goes to this rich guy's house to sell some makeup, and all of a sudden becomes a nanny to his kids. And it's her, in the element of rich preppy people, while she's just like a regular New York chick, just saying stuff, whatever's on her mind, kind of thing, and the comedy that ensues from there. It's one of those shows I know I didn't watch as it was running on television, but revisiting it now, I really like it, because I think I saw it on TV Land, like repeats and things like that when I was younger, and I just like revisiting it now. It's kind of dated, but it's still a funny show. I know a lot of people don't like Fran Drescher's voice, like, like some people say she's kind of annoying, but I don't know, the show it was really cool, and I like revisiting it, and it's cool that Mill Creek put them out in a double pack. And next up over here, and last up for my update, is one of my all-time favorite sitcoms from the 90s, and that is Mad About You, seasons 1 and 2 in a pack here, all on 4 discs, starring Helen Hunt and Paul Reiser. They play like a newlywed couple that live in New York in this apartment, and just, live their day-to-day lives and all the little situation and stuff that they get into in the show. It's just very, very funny. They have great chemistry together, and I think the thing that got me into the show in the first place is this, the chemistry, and that Paul Reiser in the show is like a filmmaker, like a documentarian, and I like that aspect of the show, that he's like, a guy out there trying to, make films and projects and things, and that's what drew me into the show even more. But that's seasons 1 and 2 here of Mad About You. If you've never seen the show, definitely check it out, because I'm sure The Nanny and this, they're only going to go for like $10 a piece or less in the store. So definitely check them out if you guys love sitcoms from the 90s. But guys, thank you so much for coming by for my update today. Really do appreciate it. Please give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time. Toodaloo!